Hi, I'm Leslie. The class today will be a yoga flow, but it'll be just more of a gentle movement in the body, kind of an overall feel-good class. This is something that I would do if I just woke up in the morning and I kind of feel like the Tin Man and I just want to get some lubrication in the joints, just get fluids moving through the body before I start the day. Or it could be something that I do when I come home from work. If you have perhaps a sedentary job and you just feel stiff from sitting all day, this would be just a nice way to just find some gentle movement back in the body. Nothing that's going to really shock the joints or be too intense, just to feel nice and also to get us breathing. So hope you enjoy. If you have your water with you, get a nice big sip of water. I just really want to emphasize this idea of having fluidity, getting water in the joints, getting us nice and lubricated, and then just moving that water through us. So big sip of water, and then we'll start on our backs. Here we go. All right, come on down onto your back. A couple blocks might be handy for the practice here. If you have those available, just get them set up near your mat, and then we'll just go ahead and lie down here. And just have your feet to the floor and your knees bent. Bring your feet a little wide on the mat and have your feet, or your knees that is, have your knees together. And then just close your eyes here and just notice your breath here. Just let yourself become present with this experience in your body right now. Just take a couple more breaths here. Breath is deepening and filling out. And then let's reach both of the legs up into the air. Just starting now with the ankles, just start to rotate your feet around in circles. The joints like movement that attracts more water to the joints to lubricate. So this is one of our many, many benefits of yoga practice. Go ahead and rotate your feet around the other way. One of the many, many benefits of our yoga practice is it just gives us that opportunity to be in the body, to find movement in a way that feels right for us. Okay, good. And then let's reach the arms back overhead towards the wall behind you. Interlace your fingers and push your palms away. We want to press the lumbar spine down to the floor, so that's your lower back. Flex through the ankles, and then with your legs straight, lower just one leg down and try not to pull your lower back up off the floor. And then lifting one leg, lowering the other, maybe switch them about at the 45-degree mark or so. Don't be too precise about it though. But most important thing is you're navel downwards and you're keeping your spine flat on the floor, not lifting and lowering the spine. So here we're getting some movement through the hip sockets, and we're also warming up the core muscles. Keep a flexion through your legs, maybe getting a little bit of a stretch through the back of the legs here, and also reaching out through the arms and opening through the shoulders. So working various things at once. Keep going, breathing. Maybe you breathe as one leg comes up, and you inhale as one leg comes up, and you exhale as your legs switch and they go the other way. And then reach both of your legs up. And then just start to swivel your hips. So you're trying to pull one hip towards the ribs, and then you switch, you go the other way. So pretend that your hips are on a swivel, like a little table, and you're just turning them in these little semicircles, one side, shifting them one side and then the other. Your sacrum stays down. You're really just imagining here. And then just let your hips come back to a nice neutral position. Let's point the feet, turn your knees out, and lower both of your legs out wide to the side. And then flex your ankles and bring your legs back up. Point as your legs come out wide to the side. Flex as they come back up. Keep going like this. Inhale as your legs open. Exhale as they zip up, close. Inhale, open as you point. Flex and zip them back up again. Just go a few more times like this. Inhale, open. Keep reaching your arms towards the wall behind you. Inhale to open, flex the feet. Exhale, zip it up, shut. Good. Bend your knees. Wrap your arms around your legs here and just shift a little bit from side to side. Keep that smooth, easy breath. Take your arms all the way out to the side. And you're just going to let your legs alternate moving from one side to the other. So as you exhale, your knees come over to one side. As you inhale, they come back up. Now your legs do not need to come all the way down to the floor. You'll actually get more core warm up if you let your legs hover maybe halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way down, and then bring them back up. Keep the legs squeezing together. Keep your upper back on the floor, both of your shoulders, your arms are stretched out wide. Sync up this movement with the breath. Exhale as the legs come down. Inhale as they come up. You decide how far down the legs go. Now bring your knees up, and then exhale as both of your knees come to the right. Let them pause there and hover, maybe 45 degrees or so off of the floor. Pin your legs together. Pretend your bottom leg is like a shelf, and it's holding your top leg up. Both of your arms are flat down. Both of your shoulder blades are down. This is warming up the core. If you want a little bit more engagement in the core, just extend your top leg. It's reaching out at about a 45-degree angle to the floor. This should feel a lot more intense. Can you keep breathing here? Can you keep pressing the back of your hands and the back of your shoulders down? And then bend your top leg and bring both legs back up. And then let's go to the other side. So I preface this by saying this is a feel-good flow. So if extending the top leg doesn't feel good, don't do it. Some of us really enjoy the core engagement, and so if it's enjoyable to you, your legs are over to the left now. They're hovering about 45 degrees. Your bottom leg is the shelf. Your top leg is heavier on the bottom leg. Maybe both of your knees are bent. Maybe you straighten your top leg. So it's reaching out at a diagonal towards the side of your room. And you're pinning both of your shoulders down, both of your arms down. The straight top leg is optional. You can have the knee bent if you like. Keep breathing. And then bend the knee and bring both of your legs in. Now let's take the legs all the way over to the right and into a twist and pause. So this is now just stretching out those oblique muscles that we were engaging when we were holding our legs in the hovered position. Just letting that stretch out. And if it's early in the morning and things are still a little tight in the body and a little stiff in the spine, you can always elevate your legs, maybe place them on a folded blanket. And let's bring the legs back up and take them over to the left. Feel free to place something under the legs if you have a folded blanket or folded bath towel with you, or perhaps a block under the legs if that would help. There's a phrase called Boga Yoga, B-H-O-G-A, Boga Yoga, which means really just enjoyable, just finding an enjoyment, not going too serious or too intense. Just doing yoga for the enjoyment of moving. Bring your knees back up. So that's our intention today. Let's hold on to the back of the legs and just rock yourself forward and back a few times. And then you'll come on up to seated. Place the hands just under the shoulders with your fingers rotated out slightly. Your feet are on the floor about hips distance apart. And we'll do a cat-cow from here. So arch the spine up as you inhale. Round it down towards the floor as you exhale, and you bend your elbows. So inhale, straighten your arms, and you're lifting through the spine, but keep the hips down. Exhale as you round down. You're coming down onto your sacrum. You're bending the elbows, and then you arch up. You come off the sacrum and you roll towards your sit bones. Straighten the arms. Exhale and round the spine down. There we go. Let's do one reverse table. So push into your feet, straighten your arms, lift up your hips if this is too much right now. then feel free to keep the hips down. That's fine. Remember, we just want it to feel good, and that's all. And lower your hips down. Okay, you can just come onto all fours. I'm just going to turn myself around. Feel free to come into all fours, whichever direction feels like it makes more sense to you. And then we'll do that cat-cow, but more traditional this time. So arching as you inhale, look forward, tilt the tailbone up, and round as you exhale. You look back towards your legs and you draw the navel up. Inhale and arch, draw the shoulder blades down the back, look forward, tailbone up. Exhale, start with the navel pulling back. Push the hands into the floor. Look down, do one more like this. Inhale. Reaching the spine through the crown of the head, and then exhale, round, and then as you continue the exhale, come back to child's pose and pause here. Hips are back over the heels, forehead comes down to the floor. Now, if you like to find little tiny shifts and movements in any pose, really, maybe you're just noticing the difference between the left and right side of your low back or the left or right hip. By finding little tiny shifting movements, you can do that. Let's lift the head up and walk the hands over to the right. Keep the arms long. Interlace the fingers of your left hand through the fingers of the right hand. So your left hand is stacked on top of the right. And then let your head come down between your arms. And you're really planting the right hand down, that's the one on the bottom, in order to get more of a stretch through the left side. And then inhale, lift up part way, and then we'll come to the other side. Just walk your hands, go nice and slow, especially if you're kind of stiff through the sacrum, go slow. You might want to widen your legs a little bit. And then stack your right hand on top of the left. Interlace the fingers of the right hand through the fingers of the left hand. And then let your head come down. You push down through the left hand and try to reach that arm forwards to stretch through the right side a little bit more. Close your eyes here and breathe. Lift your head, walk your hands back to center and come on upright. So I'll just turn myself just a little bit to the side so you can see what's going on here. We're going to take the right foot out to the side, so it's right in line with your left knee. And then as you inhale, your right arm lifts up and you twist to the right. As you exhale, the right arm comes under you. Tuck it under you and reach to the left, so you're wringing the air out. Inhale, you open up through the right arm as you twist to the right. Exhale, you twist the arm under you to the left. And last time, inhale and open to the right. Exhale to the left. Okay, keep pushing the four corners of the right foot down. Inhale, open up through the right arm. Stay here. Try to lean back a little bit. Keep breathing normally. Push into the four corners of the right foot. Engage the right thigh. Lean back a little bit with your top arm, your top shoulder. And then lower the right hand down. And let's come on upright. So we're coming into a gate pose, Parigasana. You still have your right leg out to the side. Your left knee is under you. Let's reach the arms out to the side. Inhale, lift the spine. Exhale, side bend over to the right. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bring your left hand down. Now it can come to a block if the floor feels a little far away from you. You keep the right foot down and you circle your top arm around. Inhale, you pull yourself up. Use your core to come up. Exhale over to the right. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale, left hand comes down and use big circle through the top arm. And last time, inhale, lift up. Exhale over your right leg. Stay here. Stay here. Can you take your top elbow back? Lift up the flesh of the inner thigh. You're kind of lifting it up towards the groin. Imagine that you're pulling energy from this arch of your right foot all the way up the inner edge of the leg, right into the hip socket. And then see if you can side bend another 1/4 inch to the right. Keep the left thigh firm. And then let's come on up, inhale. All right, and lower the hands to the floor and bring the right knee down under you. And just for a little intermission here, you'll just curl your toes under and come into a downward facing dog. So knees can be bent if the back of the legs are stiff. Reach your toes forward, push the hands into the floor. Send the breath all the way up and down the body here. Lower the knees down to the floor. Slide your body low to the ground until everything is touching down. The front body is touching down. Press the tops of the feet down. Roll the shoulders back. Rise up to cobra. Keep it low. Exhale, lower back down. Let's do 2 more like that. So don't go to your highest cobra ever. Just keep it kind of low. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift. We don't want to shock the lower back. Exhale, take it down. We want to find more integrity and be very present in this pose. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Press yourself up to all fours. Inhale. And come to child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together, hips reach back. When I ask you to be very present in the pose, it means you're watching very closely and with a great deal of interest how these shapes that we come into make you feel. And if there's strain, perhaps like in the low back or anywhere else, then you need to back off a little bit. So be very present with yourself in every pose. Not only are we moving the body, moving fluids around and breathing, but we're also taking this opportunity to just drop in and experience ourselves completely. Let's come back up to all fours. All right, we'll do the other leg. I'll just angle myself just a little bit. Hopefully there isn't too much glare here. It was sunny or rainy all morning, and now the sun is deciding to come out. So just in case there's too much glare, I'm just going to shut these a little bit, and then from all fours you're going to have your left leg out to the side. Okay, and here we go. So let's lift up through the left arm, open to the left. Exhale, tuck the left arm under you and twist to the right. Inhale, open up to the left. I've got a lot of activity going on in my left foot. Keep flowing like this. Push down through the 4 corners of the foot. Spread through the toes, lift the arch of the foot, and lift that energy all from the arch all the way up the inseam of the left leg. You're still moving the upper body, you're still twisting, you're still breathing. Exhaling as you twist. Inhale as you open, stay here and lean back. Keep breathing. Try not to just slump down into this right shoulder. Push down into the hand, push up out of the right shoulder. Expand through the spine and through your limbs. Lean back. And then place the hands down on the floor. Okay, let's come on up. Right in the spine, vertical spine. Arms reach out to the side. Inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. Get tall. Shoulders are down. Exhale, let's side bend over the left leg. Inhale, come upright. Exhale, right hand comes down. Remember, you can use a block under the hand if you need to. Circle the top arm around. Pull yourself up using your core. Inhale. Palms turn up. Exhale over to the left. Inhale up. We're really going nice and slow, just letting the breath be fulfilled. Right hand down, circle the top arm. Little engagement to your core through this whole sequence to protect the back. Side bend and hang out here. Pause here. Remember your left foot. You're pushing the 4 corners of the left foot down. You're trying to lift the arch of the foot up away from the floor. Even if you have flat feet, pretend you have an arch. And there's a little blueberry under the foot, and you don't want to crush the blueberry. So lift the center of the foot up. And then send that energy all the way up the inner edge of your leg, right up into the center of the hip. And then see if you can bend over a little bit more. Come on up, inhale. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. All right, and then just bring that left knee under you. All right, one more thing here on hands and knees. Actually, let's give the hands a little bit of a break again. Just sit on your heels, interlace the fingers behind you, and press the knuckles down and lift up through the heart. Try to squeeze the hands together. Let's stretch through the feet while we're here. Get a double whammy. Curl your toes under and sit on your heels. Now, if this is too much on your knees, not everyone's knees like this deep flexion, so you can be higher up. You won't get as much as a foot stretch if you're higher up, but at least we'd be protecting your knees if your knees are sensitive. Otherwise, you're sitting on your heels, and this is stretching through the soles of the feet, stretching across the chest and into the inner shoulders, and then we're also getting into the wrists by pushing the palms towards each other. Whether the palms actually touch or not, don't worry about that. And then let's reach the arms up. Inhale. And exhale, place the hands to the floor and walk your hands under the shoulders back into all fours position. Inhale, your right leg reaches behind you. Keep the knee bent, look forward. Exhale, curl the knee under you. We're going to get some movement in the hip socket. Take the right knee out to the side and then tuck the right knee behind the left. Look over your left shoulder. Inhale, your knee comes out to the right. Curl it under you, exhale. Inhale, take the knees straight back. Knees bent, look forward. Exhale, curl the knee under you. Look towards your knee. Inhale, knee comes out to the right. Swing it out to the right, and then tuck the right knee behind the left. Now lower both of your shins down and sink your hips back towards your heels. You're in like a twisted leg child's pose. Come back up, shoulders over wrists. Release the right knee, take it to the right. Exhale, curl the knee under you. Inhale, take the knee back, actually straighten the leg back this time, and reach your left arm forward. This is our bird dog pose. Right leg reaches straight back, parallel to the floor, left arm is forward. Level your hips. And now swing your right leg to the right, tap the foot down. This is a little more intense, so you can do this with your knee bent. Swing your leg to the left and your arm to the right. So your arm and your leg are going in opposite directions of each other. This is warming up the core. You decide the range of motion of your arm and leg. If it comes all the way directly out in line with your left knee, that's going to be a little more intense. Maybe it's just moving a foot or so left to right. You tap the foot down on the exhale, you swing it back on the inhale. And now when the foot taps behind you to the left, place both of your hands down and look over your left shoulder towards your back heel. Big side bend to the right side. Bring your knee back down. Inhale, come high up onto a high kneeling, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, arms come behind you, come to child's pose. Just lower the arms down by your side, forehead to the floor. Make soft fists with your hands. And then lift the back of your hands up off the floor. Lift the knuckles, the back of the hands, just stretch through the wrists. And then come back up to high kneeling, reach the arms up overhead, push into the tops of the feet. And exhale, lower the hands to the floor. All right, left leg. Here we go. Inhale, your left knee rises behind you, look forward. Exhale, curl the left knee under you, look towards the knee. Inhale, take the knee out to the left. Swing it behind you, tuck it behind the right knee. Just pause here, we're not going to do child's pose just yet. And then swing the knee out to the left again, inhale. Exhale, curl the knee under you. Look towards the knee. Inhale, take the knee back, look forward. Exhale, curl the knee under you. Look to the knee. Inhale, take the knee out to the left. Swing it nice and slow all the way back. Tuck it behind the right knee. Now we come into child's pose. Both of your shins are down, your legs are twisted up, and you reach your hips back towards your heels. You're at a diagonal. Arms are reaching forward. And then come back upright. Unwind the leg. Take it out to the left. Curl the knee under you. Take the left leg back and now straighten the leg back parallel to the floor. Reach your right arm forward parallel to the floor. Bird dog pose. Engage the lower abdomen. Pretend you can squeeze your front hip points towards each other. It's going to protect the low back. And then we're going to move the right arm and the left leg opposite of each other. So as your left leg goes to the left, your right arm goes to the right. And maybe your leg is just moving a foot or so left to right. I'll show you the more gentle variation. Maybe it's just foot out, tap it down, pick it up, tap it over to the left. Your arm is just swaying the opposite direction. If you want more in core engagement, you bring your straight leg, wrap your left leg, wrap it behind you, and then bring it all the way out to the side, perpendicular to your body. This is going to be a lot more core work. So you decide what is enjoyable to you. The whole point of this practice today is to make your yoga enjoyable. So let's go one more time. Inhale as you open in the limbs. Exhale as they come back into the midline. Next time your left leg is behind you at a diagonal, place the right hand down and look back over your right shoulder towards your back heel. Your left leg is behind you at a diagonal and it's straight. You're on the ball of the foot. You're pressing back through the heel. Nice. Good. Unwind that. Both knees down. Curl your toes under. Downward facing dog. Let's look forward and walk the feet to the top of the mat. So Uttanasana at the top of the mat. And remember, if it's early, if this is your first time really moving for the day, then this may feel tight. So you can use hands on blocks here. You can have your knees bent. Just know that the more movement you can get during the day, very likely, the more things will start to loosen up. Let's push down into the feet, bend the knees a little bit, rise up to stand, reach the arms up. We're going to move through Surya Namaskar C, Sun Salutations C. They're also sometimes known as Moon Salutations. So let's lower the arms down by the side. Push down into the feet, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward and down. Hands to the floor. Bend the knees, inhale, lengthen halfway forward. Step the right foot back to a lunge, lower the right knee. Inhale, the arms reach up to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog with your hips up, your palms pushing down. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, lower the knees down and bring the front body all the way down to the floor, tops of the feet down. Inhale to cobra, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Exhale to downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here, breathing deeply into the base of your lungs, the hands push down into the floor. Like you're pushing the hips away from your hands by pressing the hands down, and then reach the spine long behind you. Bring your left foot into the midline, just another inch or half an inch, and then take your right leg up into the air behind you, three-legged dog. Open the hip, so lift the right hip higher and then bend the knee. Scorpion dog. Pull the heel in towards the outer left hip. Keep some buoyancy in the center of the left armpit. Straighten the right leg. Inhale, square the hips. Exhale, step the right foot between your hands. Lower the left knee down. Inhale, the arms reach up to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Step forward, Uttanasana. Remember, bend the knees if you need to. Take care of yourself. Make this enjoyable, not a strain. Push into the feet. Inhale, rise up. Knees are bent a little bit as you come up. Reach the arms. Hands to the heart. Exhale, close your eyes. Drop in. Remind yourself to be present in your body and with your breath. One more breath here. Exhale, release the arms. Push down into the feet. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward and down. Bend the knees, reach the spine halfway forward, shoulder blades down the back. Step the left foot back, lower the left knee. Inhale, the arms rise up. Hips can be back a little bit if the low back is feeling stiff, or the hips can be forward if you prefer. Hands come down, downward facing dog. Remember to bend your knees if you need to. Heels can be high. If your heels are not touching the floor, please don't worry about it. Just keep with your practice. If you can, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever works for your schedule, but if you can keep with your practice, the body will respond. The heels will touch eventually in downward dog. Inhale here. Lower the knees down. And then slide the whole front body all the way down to the floor. Shoulders are over your fingers. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, cobra pose. Keep it low if you need to. Don't try to come up super high. Don't make this aggressive. And then lower yourself back down. Push up to all fours. Inhale, push back to downward dog. Some of us have a tendency to over effort. If you're smiling, that probably means that it's probably you. Probably about half of us. We like to over effort and be a perfectionist in what we do. And then you're kind of defeating the purpose of yoga, right? Because it's really just about reconnecting with yourself. Yoga means union. You're just reconnecting with yourself. You're not trying to prove anything. So let's step the right foot into the midline, just about a ½ inch or so. Pick your left leg up behind you, three-legged dog. And then open the left hip and bend the knee. Yoga means union. So what are you connecting with? What are you uniting with? Why are you doing this practice? Be clear with yourself. Why are you here? Straighten the legs, square the hips. Inhale. Step the left foot between your hands. Lower the back knee. Inhale, the arms reach up, Anjaneyasana. Hands to the floor, exhale. Step forward, Uttanasana. Standing forward, bend. Feet are hips distance apart. Legs do not have to be straight. Stay here for a moment and just let the head turn side to side. Hands can even be on blocks here. If the low back is just in a really kind of angry, tweaky state, you're going to need to do a super gentle yoga practice, maybe even more gentle than this. But if you're doing okay here, this is where your forward fold might be, right? You might just be with your spine more parallel to the floor. And this might feel good, just to really lengthen the spine out. And if you're here more parallel to the floor, then don't try to let the head release down and shake it out. Just keep the crown of the head forward. If you can hinge forward and lengthen forward, then this is a good place for you right now. Let's find a twist here. So let's bend the left knee, keep the left hand down, inhale, the right arm opens up, look to the right, exhale, lower the right hand down. Bend the right knee, inhale, left arm opens up, twisting to the left, look up, exhale, lower that down. Bend the left knee, inhale, right arm opens up as you twist, exhale, take it down. Bend the right knee, inhale, open up to the left. Exhale, take it down. Stay here. Push down into the feet, bend the knees, rise up to stand, arms reach up. Let's just do one more short standing pose sequence. We'll keep it really slow. We'll keep it very mellow. Hands to the heart. Let's bring the feet together to touch. Inhale, the arms reach up to chair pose. Weight is in your heels. Low belly is drawing back and up. Now this pose literally means intense pose. Utkatasana, quite the opposite of feel good flow. But can you find something enjoyable about this pose? About any pose? Can you find something enjoyable here? For one more breath. And then bring the hands to your heart. Let's twist this to the right. So if you're still stiff, you can just drape the left forearm across the legs and bring the right hand to the hip as you twist to the right. If you can bring your palms together and the left elbow outside the right knee, then that's a fine place to be too. Reach both of your sit bones back. We're going to take this to a lunge, but we're going to stay twisted to the right. So if you can step your left foot back and keep your palms together, then your balance is great. And if you need to bring your left hand down to support you as you step your left foot back, that's fine too. So here we are now in a lunge. We still have the left elbow to the right knee. We have the left leg reaching behind us. Right knee is bent 90 degrees. We're twisting. Push the palms into each other and turn your heart towards your thumbs. We're going to come around to warrior two. So look down. You're going to windmill your arms. Left arm reaches up and around. Come up, warrior two. I promise this is as high as we're going to get for this class. Just briefly, warrior two. And then we're going to do a simple dancing warrior. So inhale, reverse your warrior. Right arm up. Exhale, bring the right forearm to thigh. Top arm reaches up and over. Come back to warrior two. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep the right knee pointing forward. Exhale, bring the forearm to your thigh. Top arm reaches up and over, side angle pose. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale here. One more time. Inhale, reverse. Actually, let's come into triangle pose. Straighten your front leg. Exhale, right hand comes down. Now we all have our list of top 10 favorite yoga poses. Maybe you can name them off. Maybe you need to think about it. This is definitely one of my top 10. Just the expansion that's involved in this pose. Your limbs are expanding, your spine. You're making yourself into a 5-pointed star. So reach out long, push into your feet, reach out through your hands, breathe here, smile. It feels good to expand the body. Expand through your limbs. Bend your front knee, warrior two. Reverse it, same inhale. Windmill your hands to the floor. Find a lunge, stay here. This could quite possibly be also on my list of top 10 favorite yoga poses, this very simple runner's lunge. Because it lengthens out the back, the low back. So reach back through your back heel. Be lighter on your hands. So come up onto your finger pads. And be lighter on your hands, heavier in your feet, and reach your spine like you're on a stretching rack here. Push into the four corners of your front foot. Make your back leg active. So lift the femur bone up towards the hamstrings. Reach the inner heel back. Shoulder blades are moving down your back. Remember, you're lighter on your hands. On your next exhale, downward dog. Push the hands into the floor, fingers are spread. Have more weight on the inner edge of your hands. And rotate your biceps forward. And your triceps wrap under you. They're wrapping to the underside of the arms. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, lower the knees down. Come all the way down to your belly for your cobra pose. Let's do a round of 3. So we'll come up progressively higher with each one. So tops of the feet down. Roll the shoulders back. Lift your chest and your hands. Hover your hands off the floor. Curl up through the chest. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, come up, but keep the hands down, but keep just a very little weight in the hands. So you're using your back muscles to lift, and exhale, lower down. Push down into the feet. Inhale, come up into your regular cobra pose. And if your regular cobra pose is like really high and intense, back off a little bit. Just keep it easy, and then lower down. Everyone's very different in their cobras. Let's push up to all fours. Inhale, push back to downward facing dog. Exhale. Deep inhale. Deep exhale, soften the back of the heart down. Inhale here, expand the spine. Exhale, soften the back of the heart. Walk the feet together to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Maybe you find you're draping a little closer towards the floor every time we come into this pose. Things are starting to work now. Push down into the feet and inhale, come up. The body loves yoga. It loves this gentle movement. Bring the hands to your heart. Feet together to touch. Bend the knees. Inhale, reach up. It likes more challenge as well. It likes more endurance type work and strengthening work, but it likes this too. Hands to your heart. Let's twist this to the left. Remember, you can just drape the right forearm over the legs and bring the left hand to the hip if this is where your twist wants to be today, if it doesn't want to go too deep. Otherwise, hands together and bring the right knee or right elbow outside the left knee. Reach the spine forward. Reach your sit bones back. Turn the heart towards your thumbs if you're in the prayer pose. And we're going to be stepping the right foot back, but keeping the upper body in this twist. So if you need to release your hands to support yourself to step back, you can do that and then come back into your twist. Otherwise, can you bring your right foot back to a lunge and stay? Keep your upper body just as it was. Reach back through your back leg. Reach forward through the crown of the head. Can you move the thumbs and the heart towards each other and breathe? And smile. This feels good. We're going to come up and around to Warrior Two. So lead with your right arm. Reach it forward. Windmill it up and around. Lower your back heel. Warrior Two. Left knee is still bent. The knee is still pointing forward. Inhale, reverse this. Exhale, left forearm to thigh, reach the top arm over, side angle, Parsvakonasana. Push into the front foot, inhale, reverse your warrior. I forgot the Warrior Two, so we'll do that next time. So exhale, side angle pose, forearm to thigh. And now come up to Warrior Two, inhale, stay here. Exhale, stay here. Keep the inner left knee pointing forward. Inhale, reverse. There it is. Side angle pose. One more time and then we'll end up in our triangle pose. So inhale, Warrior Two, stay here. Exhale, soften the shoulders, stay here. Inhale, reverse your warrior. If your front leg is shaking, don't worry, we're gonna straighten it in just a moment. Straighten the front leg. Pour yourself over your left leg. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Now, if it's early in the morning or if you've been sitting all day, don't feel like you have to come into the deepest variation of the pose. Give your body a break. If you need to have hand higher up the shin, that's fine. If you do longer yoga practice and you're doing your yoga consistently, like nearly every day, then the hand will come down comfortably to the floor. But if you bring the hand down and already it feels like everything's tightening up and it's not working for you and the breath is not flowing smoothly, bring the hand up on the shin. Remember, all we're doing here is just connecting. That's all we're doing. Just connecting back to ourselves. Let's come to Warrior Two, inhale. Reverse. Windmill your hands to the floor. Level out your hips, lift your back heel. You might need to heel toe the left foot so it's directly under the hip here and stay here. Runner's lunge. And lucky us that we get to do yoga and we get to move into poses like this one regularly and get more length in the spine and in the hips and in the connective tissues. Be lighter on your fingers. Reach back through the back heel. Reach forward through the crown of the head. Push straight down into the four corners of your left foot. And you lift the femur bone of your right leg. Lift it up and towards the hamstrings. Reach back the heel. One more breath. Downward facing dog. Nice job. If you're taking care of your body and you're not trying to over effort, if you're finding a combination of effort and ease in every single pose, you're doing your yoga perfectly. This is how it was written hundreds of years ago in the Yoga Sutras, actually more like 2,500 years ago. Effort and ease, sthira sukham. If you're finding that perfect balance in this pose, in every pose, you're doing your yoga perfectly. What does that mean to you to find that combination, that perfect balance of effort and ease? Lower your knees down to the floor. And we're just going to come to a seat. So lower your feet, or bring your feet down just in front of you. Your knees are bent, hands are behind you. And we're going to get into the hips a little bit. So we're going to start off really easy. So bring your left foot forward a little bit, cross the right ankle over the left knee. And this is starting to feel like our figure 4 pose that we would do on our back. Sukhi Randrasana sometimes is called thread the needle pose or sleeping pigeon pose if we were on our back. Now, I have us upright, seated, to show you that you have you can customize this pose. If you are tight in the hips, your left foot will be farther forward. If you want a deeper stretch, your left foot is in closer. And the more you feel the stretch through the outer right hip, the more you're going to flex your right ankle, because this is going to engage some muscles along the outer shin, and it's going to start to protect the knee. So we're not tugging the kneecap in awkward directions and then potentially creating strain or imbalances in the knee. Now, if you want more, if you have your left foot in as far as it'll go and the right ankle is flexed and you want a little more, can you lift the spine up away from the floor? And this is going to get in even more. Still want more? If the answer is no, stay where you are. Don't overdo it. If the answer is yes, you still want a little more, then baby cradle the leg. So you can wrap the left arm around the foot and the right arm around the knee and interlace the fingers. And if you come into this pose and your spine immediately starts to just slump back behind you, keep a lift in the spine. And if it's still rounding back, come back to where we just were, with the ankle crossed over the knee. If you've got baby cradle and you can play around with this a little bit, maybe come into boat pose with your left leg and you're just balancing right on the back of your hips. You can take this into half boat. I'm just showing you options. You don't have to do all of these suggestions. They're all just options as long as you're still feeling okay in the outer right hip and in the back. So half boat, you roll back with some control. You're still in baby cradle in the right leg. This is going to start to get bigger. So really basically all we're doing right now is pigeon pose upside down, facing up instead of down. So if this is too much, come back up to seated, come back up to something that feels good, where you're not clenching your teeth and shortchanging your breath. Now we can rock ourselves back up if you're in half boat here. So reach your left leg up straight, get a little momentum, rock, oopsies, I didn't quite make it, rock yourself up. See if you can balance in your boat pose. And then lower the left foot, release the right leg. We're just going to get some, bring the hips and the spine back to neutral before we do the other side. So hands to the floor behind you, feet to the wide edge of the mat, and then just let your legs windshield wiper side to side. So just bringing the spine back to nice neutral and the hips, getting everything kind of symmetrical again before we take this to the left leg. So you're letting one hip lift up away from the floor as the knees come to the side, and then the other side. Okay, should be good enough there. So let's have the knees point up. And then we'll start with the left ankle crossed over the right knee. Start with your right foot a little more forward. If you're just feeling absolutely nothing at all in the left hip, bring the foot in closer. The closer your right foot comes in, the more you'll feel this. Keep the left ankle flexed. And you can, and then lift up through the spine. You can even walk your hands in a little closer if you want more. And I'm really gradually easing you into baby cradle pose. We don't want to just rush into the deepest part of the pose and then potentially create some kind of shock in the joints or in the low back. We just kind of ease our way into it, like as if you're stepping into a hot tub. You don't just jump in, you dip a toe in, and then you put the foot in, and then you put the ankle in. It's kind of like that. So baby cradle, if you want a little bit more stretch. If not, just keep your hands on the floor. You wrap your right arm around the foot and your left arm around the knee, and you interlace your fingers in front of the shin, and then lift up the spine. And now that we've given this hip plenty of warning of where it's going, it's probably a little bit more on board with this idea rather than just jumping into it right away. Keep the spine lifted, keep the left ankle flexed. Maybe you lean back just a hair and float your right leg into a boat pose variation. Just playful, just for fun. Doesn't really help out with the stretch. And then you have the option of taking this down into a half boat. This will intensify the stretch in the left hip quite a lot. So we're just going to lower ourselves down, use some control, go slow, go slow, go slow. Half boat. If you are quite open in the hips, you might be able to bring your upper back and your head to the floor. I'm obviously not that open, but if that's there for you and it's comfortable, if it doesn't make your breath shortened and your teeth clench, remember that's the important thing. You're being present, you're listening to what your body needs, and you adjust for that. Reaching your right leg long. If you're still here, if you're upright and you have your hands on the floor, that's fine too. Wherever you are is perfect, as long as you can do it relatively comfortable. Remember that balance of effort and ease. Do one more breath here. And then to swing ourselves up, you lift your right leg up, get a little momentum. We're going to try to rock up to boat and balance, still with baby cradle leg. So rock up. Oh, I almost made it. Try one more time. Rock up. Oh, there it is. Can you keep your right leg lifted and straight? Keep the spine straight. And then right foot down, release the left leg. It might be a little achy, so release it nice and even. And then this time we'll just come all the way down to the back. Okay, all the way down. So knees come up, and then we'll do windshield wiper from our back here. So feet to the floor, knees point up, and have your feet wide at the edges of the mat. Have your arms out wide to the side, and then just lower your legs down to the right. And inhale, bring them up. Exhale, lower to the left. So you're rolling onto the edges of your feet, and then your feet are flat when your knees are up. You roll to the edges as your knees come to the side. Synchronize this movement with your breath. So you're not synchronizing the breath to the movement, right? It starts with the breath, and then your body is just moving in rhythm with the pace of your breath. Your breath is the master here. Do one more time, finishing up on the left side. We'll finish up where we started. So knees come up. Reach both of your legs up into the air. If you have a block, we can do a very mild inversion here. You can bring your hips up and bring the block under your hips, and then take your legs up. If you have a block, it feels a little bit nicer here, just to get a little more inversion, to get the hips a little higher than the heart. It is helpful for the circulatory system and the lymphatic circulation, also of the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is mostly water. It does not have its own pump. It relies on movement and also reversing our relationship to gravity, which is what we're doing now, to move the lymphatic fluids. And lymph is not talked about too much in our society, but it is an actual thing, and it is an actual part of our physiology, and it just clears debris and, bacteria, and it clears away, tries to clear away viruses. It just tries to latch on to these things that are in our body that shouldn't be in our body, and to remove them. So lymph is really a huge part of our immune system. Right now we're just helping it to recirculate, in addition to the venous fluid in our lower body. So let's bend the knees and lower the feet down to the floor. Okay, good. And just hug the knees in towards you. If you want to do happy baby pose here, you can. Bringing your shins vertical, your knees are bent, you're pulling the knees in towards the armpits. And you're holding on to the outer edges of your feet. Keep your ankles flexed so the soles of the feet face the ceiling. And pull the knees down towards your armpits. And push the sacrum down into the floor. That to me is more important than what your knees are doing. Push the sacrum down to the floor, and that's going to lengthen out the low back. A little bit of a back stretch. Close your eyes here. Smooth, even, full breaths. As you inhale, you're really filling in the whole interior space of your lungs with your breath, the base of the lungs, the back, the sides of your lungs. As you exhale, you watch it all release. You wait until that last little drop of carbon dioxide moves out of you. You find a brief pause at the end, and then you start all over again. You fill back up. Release your feet. Okay, so let's just do a couple of minutes finding stillness on our back. You can either extend the legs forward, or as an option, you can come into butterfly pose, soles of the feet together, knees are wide. Hands rest wherever you're comfortable, either on the low belly or on the floor by your side. And just soften the shoulders. Soften the abdomen. Soften the face. Relax the fingers. So yes, we are relaxing the body and the nervous system here, but we're also taking away all distractions so you can be completely present with what's happening with the interior space, with the energy body. The energy body includes the breath, so you're watching your breath. Very closely. Eyes are closed. Try not to control the breath, let it just be natural. Watching the rise and the fall. You're minimizing any tension so the breath can just flow unobstructed. Let's do 3 more breaths here. Last one. And then you'll slowly roll over to one side. If you had your legs stretched forward, bend your knees. Roll over to one side. Be here for just a moment. And then press yourself up to seated. Bring the hands together at the heart. Close the eyes. And bow the head to the heart. And lift the gaze. Thank you for joining me. I hope you feel better physically, energetically, and mentally. and that you enjoy the rest of your day or evening. Namaste.